What is going on, everybody? Today, I'm going to be going over some counters you can be using for the 7-star Pikachu raid, which I think are going to be working out very well. So let's get into it. So to start off, we kind of need to know a little bit about Pikachu. And he is an electric type. His Tera type is going to be water, but do not bring electric types because he does have the ability Lightning Rod. Now, Lightning Rod will raise his attack and special attack if he gets hit by an electric type move. So water automatically becomes immune to electric just being on Pikachu. So that's going to be kind of a downside, but we are going to be leaning into the grass types to go ahead and take care of that. You could skill swap away his ability, but honestly, there's no point. So I wouldn't do that. Now, he is going to have the Mightiest Mark, which we know. I think he's going to be a modest nature, being a special attacker. He is going to be running from the 24th to the 27th, and his HP at level 100, with all the calculations that we normally do for 7 stars, is going to be about 5,275. That's really low compared to the rest. The rest have been in the 7,000 range. Most likely, he is going to be able to be soloed, so that his defense is going to be a 128 in both, which is kind of around the range that we have been seeing. Now, some moves. He has Thunderbolt Thunder, Terra Blast, maybe could be a move, which would be water, help him cover a little bit. Then you have Volt Tackle. That is a physical egg move. And I'm guessing Pikachu's going to be holding a light ball. Pikachu normally, whenever it comes out in events, has a light ball, and only Pikachu can use it. It powers up Pikachu's moves, so it can do more damage. And with him being electric type, he is going to be firing off really high thunders if he does have that. So every single spread we're going to be going over today is going to be calced against a in the rain thunder with light ball. So the worst case scenario, but if he doesn't have Volt Tackle, you're going to get a light ball and most likely be able to pass down the egg move. I wouldn't see why it wouldn't have that because it is kind of a signature move for him. But then you go into Grass Knot, you have Rain Dance, which I guarantee he probably will use turn 1. Everyone's typically ran 2 moves turn 1. I'm seeing him using Rain Dance to help him with the Thunder, so he gets 100% accurate. Then he has Light Screen, Reflect, Nasty Plot. Those are kind of moves that he can have outside. I'm guessing this range is going to be the move pool that he could have. So with that being said, let's jump over to the builds I've made that are calced to pretty much live whatever he throws at you. So we have 5 builds, and the first off is going to be Appleton. Appleton is going to be my favorite because I love Appleton. He is a grass dragon type. So the only thing we'd have to really worry about here is if he does have Play Rough, which I don't think he'll be running. So Appleton being a very bulky grass type will be very useful. I am putting this Citrus Berry on him because he can actually take advantage of that way more than anybody else. Now for his Terra type, you would more want to have grass instead of dragon. So if you do have a grass one, that is preferred. If you can transfer it or turn it into a grass, I would do so. Dragon, if you have a dragon, I just wouldn't Terra because then you won't really be getting a benefit from it. I would recommend just staying the grass dragon if you don't have the grass Terra. So with Appleton being very bulky, he's going to be kind of a support mon. He does get Apple Acid as a signature move. What it does is it lowers the target's special defense stat. So it's kind of like Acid Spray, but as a grass version, and it's an 80 base power. So again, it's going to go through shield and do damage, which is perfect. And it does have a higher base attack than it normally does. So lowering the special defense, hitting on that special side is going to be very big. So Recycle is going to be a level up move. And it's very interesting on him because if he eats the berry, he is going to be healed up. And then he can use Recycle to get the berry back. So essentially, you could just get endless berries. And then with his ability, it is going to stack even more. And we will go over the ability here in a second. And then Sunny Day, I put Sunny Day on him because one, a lot of grass types like using Solar Beam because Solar Beam is a 1-turn move. If it's in the sun, you don't have to wait a turn for it to build up. So if you do have Sunny Day up, you can just go ahead and Solar Beam. If he's running Rain Dance, he will be setting rain for his thunders, and you can just take that away and have your own weather. So that is something that's also very nice here. Now, your main attacking move for Appleton is gonna be Solar Beam. It's a 120 base power special attack. If you get a few Apple Acids off, I guarantee Solar Beam is gonna be able to just do massive amounts of damage. You can't really boost your own stats, but you are lowering his, and with your Berry and Recycle, you're gonna live all day long. So for his spread, we are running a 252 HP, a 196 special attack, and then a 60 in defense. So with that spread, you are gonna be able to live anything, and that defense is actually invested to go ahead and live a Volt Tackle. So just in case he is, we will be able to live that no matter what. And then with our ability, it's Ripen. So it doubles the effects of berries. So a citrus berry normally gives you about 25% of your HP whenever you use it. Well, with Ripen, because of Appleton, he is going to get 50%. So it's essentially a recover or a roost. And you can just recycle, get the berry back, and do the same thing over and over again. I've done the calcs. He is going to be a tank, and he always has been a tank. He's very slow, but he is going to be doing a lot of work, being a very supportive mon, and still being able to fire off massive solar beams. We are running a bold nature because, well, you want more defense, and you're not using your attack stat. But that is going to be the Appleton. Let's jump over to the Toadsquirrel because he's kind of going to be the main supporter. So Toadsquirrel is going to be a main supporter, and being a ground grass type is going to be really big for him here because he's immune to electric moves, and he's neutral to water moves because of that grass typing. So again, I would run a grass Tera type here because then if he is running Tera Blast, which would be water, if you're Tera ground, you'll be taking a lot of damage. And it's not really what you're going to be wanting here. His held item, I went ahead and ran Light Clay because he is going to be the main supporter, and he's going to be setting up screens all day long. So for his moves, we're going to be going Giga Drain. It's mainly going to be your main attacking move on him because you are going to be a supporter, but the whole time you're just going to be healing up off of it. So perfectly fine. Then you have Acid Spray. So again, Acid Spray, always really big inside Tera raids, especially using special attackers, which we are kind of leaning into here. So if you have an Acid Spray next to an Appleton who's using Apple Acid, this thing is going to go down really, really quickly. Then again, he's going to be the main supporter. So with Light Clay, you're going to run Reflect and Light Screen. Those two moves are going to last 8 turns, and the raid mon cannot wipe them out. So you just get to do whatever you want. Even whenever he gets rid of your stat boosts, he can't wipe out your screens. So that's really, really big. I'd mainly go in and turn 1 Light Screen is if you are with an Appleton, he's going to Apple Acid. Go ahead and start dropping. And then after that, if he does have Volt Tackle, then you can Reflect. But I'd mainly get off that Light Screen first, so Thunderbolts and stuff will not do as much damage. So for his spread, we're going to be 252 HP, 200 special attack, and 56 defense. What I recommend doing here is just putting all your HP in, putting 20 into special attack. If you are using vitamins, that would put you at 200, and then toss the rest into defense because, well, you're already really bulky and you can live a lot, especially setting up screens. Now, again, we are going to be running the bold nature to go ahead and give ourselves a little bit more of defense here and lowering our attack. His ability is not useful at all here because if you're using status moves like Pollen Puff, Spore, stuff like that, it isn't going to be going first. You actually go last. It makes sure you go last. So that's kind of why we're not running any of that on him. We do have 2 supporters already. One's kind of a mix with Appleton. Let's jump on to Wo Chen because he's going to be a very interesting set. And I'm very happy that we are able to use one of the new 4 legendaries. So Wo Chen is a dark grass type. Again, Tera type, you should be grass. Doesn't really matter. If you just don't Tera, you're fine. And we are going to be running the terrain extender on him because he's going to be setting our terrain. But for our moves, he actually has a good variety of moves you could be running. Energy Ball, would be your main attacking move. You could put Solar Beam as a main attacking. It's up to you. Just Energy Ball, lowers the target special defense stat. So no matter what, you are able to lower the special defense stat. Between the past 3 mons we've used, everyone has the chance to lower the special defense stat, even while just doing damage. Then next move is going to be Pollen Puff. So Pollen Puff actually has 2 different interactions. If the target is an ally, it gives the allied Pollen Puff that restores its HP. So instead of heal cheering, you could actually just Pollen Puff your own teammates and heal them up. Now, if you do it on the raid mon, it's going to do damage. So keep that in mind if you are running a Wo-Chen. He will just heal up your own allies. So we kind of have the ability to just heal ourselves over and over and over again, which is one thing that you're going to see pretty much across all of the grass types we are using. Now he does have grassy terrain. Grassy terrain on him with the terrain extender is going to last forever. And that's just going to allow you to heal up. I don't see Pikachu getting like Ice Spinner or anything to get rid of our terrain. So if he does set it, we can go ahead and just keep it going. And then Snarl is going to be a stab move for him. It's going to be his last, and it lowers the special attack stat of Pikachu. So again, so far we've just lowered his special defense on 3 mons, and now we're lowering his special attack. So we are able to get lots of stat drops off. You could also run Solar Beam or Sunny Day on him. Both moves perfectly fine. I would swap out the Pollen Puff because then you can really just go with Solar Beam. You can go with Sunny Day. It's up to you. But Pollen Puff here is going to be very useful for healing up your own teammates. So his spread is pretty much going to be the same so far that we've seen. 252 special attack though, 200 HP, and the rest is in defense. Just going back to that bulky side with the Volt Tackle, anything like that lives perfectly fine, no problem. Now we are going to be running a Modest Mint on him to give him more special attack and lower that physical attack stat, so we don't really need to use it. And just keep in mind, so far everything is fully bottle capped except attack, because these guys are not using it. So for his ability, it is a special ability that is only to him or the Pokemon of Rune, the legendaries, but they all have different effects. So for him, the power of the Pokemon's Runeless wooden tablets lowers the attack stats of all Pokemon except itself. So this will lower all the attack stats. So if he is running a Volt Tackle, it's going to be doing less damage. So he kind of has to lean into that special side. And then him having Snarl is going to be lowering that special side. So no matter what, he is pretty much going to be debuffing Pikachu the entire time just by himself. And he does a lot of damage because he's sitting at a 317 and he is going to be doing stabs and everything like that. So very big, useful mon here. Now we get on to Lurantis. Lurantis is going to be kind of a main attacker. It's pretty much, I want to go in and I want to do as much damage as possible. One good thing though, only a grass type. You're only going to get grass type, Tera type. So, and unless you caught it in a raid, you're going to go ahead and have that Tera type already. Now, for the held item, I ran Shell Bell. Shell Bell is going to give you the ability to heal up every time you hit. So as you can see, we are only going to be having one attack move. And that kind of shows, like, if you are online and you are going with all these other guys, they're going to be doing it perfectly fine by themselves. So you won't really have to do Sunny Day, but you can. So Sunny Day sets the sun. That comes in really handy for Lurantis. And then we move on to Leaf Storm. This is going to be your main attacking move. So Leaf Storm partially lowers the special attack stat of you, but that's perfectly fine. We are going to be running Shell Bell. You could run any other grass type move. Leaf Storm is just going to be the highest damage output overall. So just keep that in mind. Leaf Storm is going to do massive amounts of damage, being a 130 attack. And then Leaf Storm actually has this special interaction with Lurantis that we will be going over. So keep Leaf Storm in the back of your mind. Now, again, grassy terrain, because if you're going in solo, I think Lurantis might be able to do it, but we'll see. Grassy terrain, go ahead and heal yourself up. Synthesis is going to be very big if it is weather. So Sunny Day up, you're going to be going more healing if you are in the sun than if you are in the rain. So another healing move that you can definitely be taking advantage of in the sun. So for the spread, we're going to be a 252 HP, a 116 special attack, And then the rest, you can guess it, it's going into defense to give us more bulk on the defensive side because our special sides are going to be perfectly fine. Now, again, modest mint to give us more special attack and lower our attack because that's not going to be bottle capped. So very big special attacker here, going to be doing a lot of damage. Now, the reason I went with Leaf Storm because you're going to be lowering your special attack is the contrary ability that Lurantis gets. So it reverses any stat changes affecting the Pokemon so that attempts to boost its stats instead of lower them. So what that means is you will be able to use Leaf Storm, which would typically lower your special attack. You're actually just going to raise it so you can do more damage. That's why Leaf Storm here is very crucial, and having that ability is crucial. If you don't have that ability, you won't be able to use it. Just keep that in mind. It's going to be very interesting because if you don't have the ability, don't run Leaf Storm because you'll just be lowering your attack stat and you will be doing no damage whatsoever because you'll be -2 and then -4 and then -6 and then there's going to be no damage output whatsoever. So Arboliva is going to be a grass normal type. Again, Tera type, you would want to go grass. So you can see that I have some Pokemon that are not grass type. I do need to go find one, catch it, or change the Tera type. So I only have 2, I believe. But besides that, you don't have to Tera. So these are with you not having to Tera, your grass normal, just like Appleton is a grass dragon. You don't Tera, you still keep that grass type, and you keep everything that you can with it. Now for Arboliva, we are going to be running a Big Root. Big Root we have ran on one other Pokemon for Tera builds, and that would have been Slitherwing. Now we're going to be seeing it on Arboliva. So it helps you boost the healing amount that you get during the raid. Now let's jump over the moves to show you exactly how we're going to be healing. So again, Arboliva is going to be a supporting Mon. Most of these guys are going to be support. Lurantis is going to be a big attacker. Wo-Chen can be a mixed. And then Appleton, my favorite, is going to be a mixed. If you will see me running an Appleton in raids. But for Arboliva, you have Giga Drain, which is going to get a big boost because you are a grass type. And you are going to be running Big Root, which is going to be maximizing your healing as you go. So pretty much won't need to be heal cheering during this raid because everybody can just heal themselves. Now, Safeguard. Safeguard prevents status conditions for 5 turns. So nobody will be able to get statused. That'll be amazing. So my main one that would be coming off Pikachu would be Para. So you would be paralyzed and you would not be able to move. Now again, Sunny Day. We've seen this several times on the other builds that you will be changing the weather so he cannot have rain to get those 100% thunders off. And then Pollen Puff. Pollen Puff we've seen on Wo-Chen. It is healing move for the team and then damage move for him. So keep that in mind. Very solid move set. You know, you got Giga Drain. Most of these guys have a lot of supporting moves with Sunny Day, grassy terrain, stuff like that. But with the moves that you are attacking with, you are able to live and do lots of damage. So just keep that in mind. Now you could be running Helping Hand as well. Helping Hand is another move that you could be running, or Strength Sap. Strength Sap is a healing move and it does lower the stats of the opposing Pokemon. So those 2 moves, interchangeable. Up to you what you do. So for our spread, it's going to be a 252 HP and a 240 special attack. With the rest, as you can guess, going into defense. And then we are going to be running that bold nature to go ahead and give us the defense boost and the attack drop. Again, across all these guys, do not bottle cap the attack because you're not going to be using it. And then his ability is going to be Seed Sower. You could say, why don't we run Grassy Terrain on him? But he's going to get a bigger advantage coming off that Big Root to go ahead and heal up. That's going to be a big play for him, is using Giga Drain to just heal himself up. Plus, you might not have an Arboliva with you, and Wo-Chen is kind of a mixed. They can do a lot more damage than anything else. Now, Seed Sower will give you the grassy terrain, so you don't have to worry about it. And you kind of have to be hit before that happens. So if you are trying to set terrain with Wo-Chen and you have an Arboliva, you might fail if it gets hit first. Just keep that in mind. but you will be fine no matter what. So there are 5 builds which we can be taking into the Pikachu Tera raid that are going to be able to live, heal themselves up, and have no problem, most likely. Now, Lurantis is questionable if it will be able to solo. We don't really know how we're going to be soloing this yet, but that's nonetheless. You have acid sprayers, you have screens, you have attackers, you have ability to change the weather, and across all of them, you have stat drops galore, so Pikachu is never going to have a positive stat that it is able to use. And if you do see me on the Tera raid, I will be using Appleton 100% of the time because I love Appleton. He's my favorite Apple evolution. But if this did help you out, let me know in the comment section below which build you're going to be building and using, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.